This is Sonic, and you're watching SonicsChannel.
Hey fans, Michael Hunter here, and welcome to this special video on Sonic Lost World. Right now I got a special guest with me to discuss the game since he's played it before at E3. I got Ben from ScrewAttack. How you doing?
Hey guys, how you doing? It's great to be back on SonicsChannel. Been a little while.
Yeah, it's been like forever. I've actually only had you like once, I believe. Oh yeah,
maybe a couple times.
If you count the Wiz and Boomstick thing.
Well, I guess Wiz is like another person altogether, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy, I hate him.
Alright,
so we're talking Sonic Lost World, huh?
Yep. So, we got a few questions here for you to share your thoughts on it, since you've actually had a hands-on experience over there. That's pretty awesome, actually.
At E3 they had a build where they had three different worlds available to play. One was like the one you've seen a lot of, the Windy Hill Zone or whatever it's called. It looks like Green Hill Zone, except it's on a big, giant tube planet thing. Then there was... I honestly can't even remember the second one. It was like really quick, like this really short one. And then there was Candyland on crack. Yep. So that's Sonic Lost World.
Nice. So how much is the game like Mario Galaxy, at least from that first level, Windy Hill?
You know, everybody kept drawing comparisons to it when we first saw the initial trailers, because it does look very similar, just aesthetically. It's got a similar kind of color palette, all these bright colors, and you do jump from world to world, kind of like Mario Galaxy, but the gameplay itself is so different. When I was playing it, I didn't have Mario Galaxy in my mind at all. Like, the only time you will ever think of it is before you start playing, basically.
That's good to know, actually.
Yeah, I mean, like, everybody was, like, myself included, was a little kind of hesitant about, oh no, Mario Galaxy ripoff. Yeah, but I mean, it is Sonic. Like, you can't expect Sonic to not... Like, Sonic is always going to be kind of similar to Mario in every regard, and vice versa. You know, nobody really thinks of it, you know, vice versa, but they are similar characters. They are similar styles of games, even though one focuses on speed and one focuses on more precision platforming. But there's always going to be comparisons, and I don't think it's that big of a deal if one of them seems to draw from the other.
Yeah, plus, isn't this like the first game with the whole Sega and Nintendo partnership?
Yes, this is their first one that is specifically going to be on the Wii U. It's not going to anywhere else, well, except for 3DS. Oh, yay!
Oh, did you play that version?
No, unfortunately, I did not.
Okay.
I meant to go back and play it at some point, but there's so much stuff going on at E3, never got a chance.
Yeah. Alright, so here's another question I got for you. How do the controls and physics feel compared to the previous Sonic games?
A bit different. Like, okay, I'm sure you've heard about the run button now.
Yeah.
Sonic doesn't actually run unless you hold down the trigger. The R trigger, I think is what it was. Which takes a little getting used to. There were a couple points early on in my gameplay where I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't be running, and I wouldn't realize it until a minute later. Like, wait a minute, he's just walking. What? Oh yeah, I gotta push the R button. And the homing attack has been changed as well. Rather than, you know, most homing attack just keeps changing. I don't know what Sega's deal is with this homing attack. They can't figure out how to do it right. I really liked how it was in Sonic Adventure, but apparently that wasn't good enough. So in Sonic Adventure, it was just, if you're near an enemy, when you're in the air and you push A, you hit it. Then there was, I think it changed in Heroes, I think it was, maybe something after that.
Yeah, either that or Unleashed.
Yeah, it needed to have a target on it. So you would wait for the target to appear. I guess it was to help keep people from accidentally homing attacking off into space and dying, which makes sense. So you'd have to wait for that target to appear, and that's been pretty standard since. Now, I'm still not sure if I've actually got this right, but I'm pretty sure I figured it out near the end of my gameplay, because it seemed to me that the homing attack would just happen whenever it felt like it, and I was having a lot of trouble with it. But I think what was going on is, if you're in the air, a target will highlight on the nearest enemy, right? But the thing is that Sonic Lost World, a lot of the enemy placements are a group of enemies. There's like, you'll find one of those ladybug robots, and there's like 5 more around it. So what happens is you jump into the air and it targets the nearest ladybug. Wait half a second, don't attack. You wait half a second, and then targets appear on all the other ones. You push A, and you go through them all in like rapid succession. It's kind of like the light speed dash with rings, except it's with enemies now. So it takes a little bit getting used to, as well as the level design, obviously, because you're running on giant tubes. So if you obviously, I think anybody who's played Sonic games before, especially like recent 3D Sonic games, there's going to be a bit of a learning curve, because this is very different. The closest thing I can like use to describe how the levels felt is, remember at the end of Sonic Adventure 2, this is probably the worst level in Sonic Adventure 2 too, or the worst running level. Shadow's last stage, I think, is when he's in space, around the space colony arc, and he's running through space, and there are these big green tube things.
Oh, I hate those.
It's kind of like that, except you have a lot more control over where he's running. Because a lot of the tubes you'd have to like run all the way up the green tube planet, then find a way onto the top. There's a big spring there, you take that to the next tube. And it felt kind of like that, except you weren't running everywhere necessarily, because there was a run button, and you know, there was a lot more control over the jumps, and it just felt a lot nicer once I learned how to actually play the game. It all made sense.
Yeah.
But man, it was a rough start.
Alright, so is there like anything else in particular about the game that really stood out to you, that you like particularly liked or disliked or whatever?
It was really interesting, like, I just played through each world once, right? But I just pulled up a trailer a couple minutes ago just to kind of refresh myself with the game, and I'm looking through this gameplay video of the same level I played. And I recognize maybe half of what I played, but then all of a sudden whoever's playing this gameplay video will go off in some completely different direction. And that's because these levels are so vast compared to anything you've ever seen in Sonic before. It's so easy to, I mean, because obviously every tube or spherical world, you don't have to be on the top. You can like spin all the way to the bottom or to the left or right. There's all sorts of different branching paths to take. I mean, they're all going to end up in the same place, but I feel like there's a lot of different replay value and exploration you can have.
That's good. With
these planets. Possibly even more than, well, definitely more than Super Mario Galaxy had. I mean, Super Mario Galaxy wasn't that big of an adventure game, I guess. It was more of a, you know, get to the end of the level. This one, yes, there's definitely the get to the end of the level, but there's a lot of different paths you can take with all sorts of different power-ups and enemies and, you know, secrets and stuff. There's a lot of those secret paths that, you know, old school Sonic had a lot of. Specifically like games like Sonic 3 and Sonic CD. And I think this is kind of drawing a lot from that. I mean, obviously it also draws a lot from Sonic Extreme, which apparently Sonic Team didn't even know, but I'm kind of calling BS on that because it's a little too similar to be a coincidence. But it is pretty cool that it would draw from something we've actually never been able to play before or see. So it's kind of like a revival of something that was never quite there, and that feels really cool. Other than that, Candy level or Candyland on crack is insane, because once Sonic's speed builds up and the level design, some of the level design is just, I have no idea what they were thinking. Like, it's a lot of fun, but it's so bizarre and zany. You'll just be like leaping through the air, then sliding down a candy cane, and you know, using floating gumdrops to bounce between different parts of the levels. I don't know, like, it seems so random.
That actually sounds like a Mario stage, to be honest.
Well, I guess if you cranked up the speed of a Mario stage like 100%. Like, it's because, you know, Sonic's obviously going like speed of sound this whole freaking time, right?
Yeah.
So it gets absolutely insane. And I remember when I was done with Candyland on crack level, I kind of had a little breakdown trying to figure out what I had just done. So,
Nice.
you know, it was a lot of fun though. I had a lot of fun with the game. As zany as some of the levels were, I mean, the Green Hill-esque zone level was definitely a lot more controllable than the Candyland one. So there's definitely going to be a variety of craziness, which is good.
I did want to ask you, though, I forgot to ask you this, like, how is it with the whole, what am I looking for? Oh yeah, like the running up the trees and stuff, and climbing up the ledges. How much do those affect the gameplay?
Right, so Sonic has, I guess, the easiest way to describe it is Sonic now knows parkour. So when he hits an edge, or a ledge, or a rock or something, rather than stopping in your tracks, he will hop over it or attempt to climb it, which really does help with the flow of the game. That is one of the biggest problems that a lot of people, including myself, have with some of these 3D games. It's some of the 2D ones, to be honest. Sonic, you'll pick up a lot of speed, you'll be having this awesome run, and then all of a sudden this random like rock in the road, or this like new bump in the road. You know, like there'll be a ledge you have to do a little hop over or something. That'll just get in the way and it'll ruin the entire flow.
Yeah.
So this is an attempt to fix that. And considering how many things are in these planets that you're running around, this was a very good decision. It doesn't necessarily make the game any easier, because most of the time if you run into something that the parkour, you know, works really well with, it's just like a little rock in the road that would only have been a problem if you weren't running.
Yeah.
Which there is going to be a lot of decision making between, like I mentioned, you know, there's a lot of different branching paths. Well, some of them, if you're just blasting through the level, you're gonna miss. Sometimes you got to slow down, let go of that R trigger, and explore the area a bit. And that's when the little ledges and rocks, those become, you know, a hazard, or, you know, a way to get into secret areas. But if you just want to blast through the area, the parkour really helps, you know, get over that stuff that you just don't care about, you don't need. Because that's not part of the gameplay, the method of gameplay that you want to play.
Yeah.
When you're going up like big cliffs, it'll start to do it, but you still have to, you know, finish the climb yourself with a jump, maybe homing attack into an enemy. The level design with that was pretty well developed, I think. So it worked pretty well. I didn't have any problems with it.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to the game even more now, thanks to you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm
Well, I'll just ask Sega for my check now, and I'll be off. I had a lot of fun with the game. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Something about, you know, with Sonic making his, I guess, revival with the 3D games, you know, Colors was good, Generations was good, and now we got Lost World. Like, Sonic's in a very kind of precarious position where if he fails, if this game isn't that great, it's just gonna fall right back into the pit where he was. And everybody will be like, "Oh, Sonic games suck again," blah blah blah. You know, all the work that Generations and Colors and Unleashed to some extent have attained, it'll be all for nothing. So this game is very important. This is like the big number 3 in the good Sonic 3D games, because I don't think Unleashed was very good at all.
Yeah.
Stupid Werehog levels. It's not worth it. So if we get Colors, then Generations, and then this, we got a trifecta of great 3D games back to back. And I think at that point we could officially say that Sonic is well on his way to recovery, which would be fantastic. I would love that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually a pretty bold move for them to make the game the way they're making it, because of how picky Sonic fans are.
Yeah, you know, that's something about Sega that I do admire, is that, and this may have been the whole downfall of Sonic to begin with, or the big reason for its downfall to begin with, but Sega and Sonic Team are not afraid to experiment. They're not afraid to try to change things and to make their sequel completely different from the prequel.
Yeah.
And that's something that Nintendo, you know, was renowned for back in the day, but like they don't do that anymore. You know, maybe they'll change the art style a little bit, but that's about it. You know, most of the times it'll be relatively similar to the older game. Most companies these days play it safe that way, and Sonic Team and Sega, they just don't do that. Maybe it's an old school style of thinking, I don't really know, but with something like Sonic, it's definitely the way to go.
Yeah.
Because Sonic, the running mechanic, it gets old eventually. You know, you can't, you know, rely on it all the time, so you gotta add some new things. Of course, that means it's easy to screw up. Hence, we get Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic 06, and Sonic and the Black Knight, which I think is worse than Sonic 06. To be perfectly honest, that game is absolutely horrible. But then we get great games like Generations and Colors. Oh, and apparently Sonic Lost Worlds will have the 2D platforming as well that Generations and Colors did so well. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, this video is... Huh? What?
The only problem is I haven't bought a Wii U yet.
What?
Because there's just nothing really on the Wii U for me at the moment. Like, maybe, you know, the Mario games might be kind of fun. You know, Monster Hunter looks kind of fun. I've been meaning to get into that for a while, but I don't know. Nothing's really convinced me to shell out $300 rather than, you know, save up for the PS4 instead.
Yeah.
But when this comes out, I think there'll be something to convince me.
Alright, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up now, because it's been going on for like almost 20 minutes actually. My goal was to have like 5 to 10 minutes, but time kind of flies when you're doing stuff like this.
Two-parter!
Yeah, it was great having you. Thank you very much for coming out, Ben.
Thanks, this was fun.
Alright, so yeah, is there anything else you want to say before we close out?
Just thanks for having me back on Sonic's channel. Of course, I'd like to just mention that, hey, I'm Ben from ScrewAttack.com, guy behind Death Battle. Definitely check out my show, Death Battle. It's fun, shameless plug. I don't know, like...
Well, that's what I was wanting you to do, so...
Was I supposed to do that, shameless plugs?
Yeah.
Sonic Lost World will be awesome, or I really hope it'll be awesome. It looks awesome so far, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, same here. Well, looks like that's it.
Aw, done already.
Yep.
Jocks.
And now we part. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed that video. Check out ScrewAttack, check out Death Battle, all that good stuff. This is Michael Hunter, and I'll see you guys next time. Later. You can say bye too.
Oh. Bye, guys.
And be sure to stick around on ScrewAttack.com to check out all the E3 all the E3 news. Bye.